Hello, my friends and family. How are we? On episode 3 of this beautiful, cool day, talking to you has made me a bit. Why am I using my radio voice? But it's fun because apparently I'm sitting properly and my voice comes out this way when I do. So, today's video, or now's video, is the parts of us we hide. The parts of us that we hide the most are the parts that have taken the most shit in our lives, and truthfully, the ones that matter the most. How do we feel about that? Show you, man. See, the parts of us we hide the most are the parts that have taken the most shit in our lives, and the ones that matter the most. Funny, right? What was I talking about? I was talking to my cousin before she left. Uh, Sorry, there might be two parts of the story. So the friend that I met in Christmas said that in the new year she wants to experience something. She wants to experience a feeling fully, and she wants to experience the feeling, allow the feeling to go through her, get out of her. It's like if she's happy, she wants to be happy. If she's sad, she wants to be sad. Let's face it, a fully experienced feeling is normally not when you're happy. Because when you're happy, it's kind of fleeting. But when you're sad, we kind of like bring it back. We bring it back. We bring it back. We don't really let it out. We hold it in for some reason. And all of us do. I'm not special. So, when I was talking to my cousin, we were sharing about how she felt at times and how she really just wanted to get over some things. And she wanted her new self to kind of look maybe clean, or maybe just she wanted her new self to experience the world differently. And I remember I went on one of those rants where I'm like asking questions and pointing things out, and the way she answers is always like what I would kind of like respond to. And the way she answered made me kind of look at her and say, why can't we just accept the dirty parts of us? Why can't we? Because the dirty parts of us are literally the ones that, what's that expression, like, a sharp pen, a sharp pencil literally means it's never been used, right? So the dirty parts of us are the ones that have literally been used and abused throughout our lives. And it's a bit shameful because the way it sounded is like we kind of like do not really want to deal with cleaning, with tending to that part, with tending to those parts of us that have gone through a lot, that we used and abused, or at least that handled the shit when we couldn't. Right? It's like you're throwing all the responsibility on a side of you, on a part of you, and that part handles it. But when it comes to talk to you, you're kind of like responding in a what the fuck? You're responding in what's going on, you're responding in leave me alone. I don't know if that's a shame that we feel, if it's a disgust, if it's a sadness, if it's like an image of ourselves that we're trying to pretentiously get over instead of kind of like building ourselves on top of these things. Funny because when I came back from Africa, I felt a lot of shame. And it has nothing to do with the country. It literally has everything to do with how I felt after I came back. After I came back, I felt shame for the things that I actually like. For just 9.5 years, I met a lot of great people, but I also never noticed the people that were not great. I did a lot of things, but I never actually was able to build on top of those things. I felt like I was very selfish. I felt like it was very just one-sided what I wanted to do over there and how I wanted to interact with the world. I felt very like I betrayed myself by completely neglecting just the essence of why I went there to begin with. Even though when I was there, I was fully under the impression that I was working towards what I wanted. But normally that's how things goes. Like I was reading it today. If a plan fails, you don't change your destination, you change your plan. If something you're doing is not working, is making you feel like you're failing, you change your plan. But after I came back, it took me about 6 months to develop different fears and shames because I came and I was very much hoping I could actually meet people that kind of engage with me, that open up my mind and all that stuff. And I did, but I didn't meet them with the open mind, or at the very least with some form of. I met them trying to hide or to use my past. I met them trying to kind of like trying to show that whatever's happened to me is not really what I am right now. It felt like I was imposing something that people couldn't see on any interaction I had with anyone. And it's here, it's kind of like, it's over the past year where I started realizing that that part is literally my strength. The part that's super dirty is the part that made me feel like is the part, and I say dirty as in like it's a t-shirt that you use every day, but you don't really take a shower to clean and like do like take care of it. And eventually you look at it and you go like, I don't want it anymore. But the reality is not the t-shirt's fault. Like it's doing its job. It's just you're not cleaning it. And that's when like truthfully sitting with myself and truthfully understanding that that where I am is literally because I handled all that shit. And the part of me that handled all that shit did come with me and needed to be kind of like prepped for the new things instead of me carrying the burden of his dirt. And so it was funny to look at it that way because like the resilient part of me, the stubborn part of me, all of those I wanted to kind of like shun them because it's just the arrogance of me. For the first year, I wanted to shun them. All these parts that made me feel like they're the reason why I failed. But in fact, they're the reason why I survived, and they're the reason why I went there to begin with, and they're the reason why I came back. Because it was my arrogance that couldn't accept that I'm sitting there and not doing what I wanted. And the first thing my arrogance did was, I'm not having fun here anymore. All right, I'm gonna go back. And imagine this, like with everything, it still interacted the exact same way possible. It still shifted. It was like, okay, this is not fun anymore. I'm moving somewhere else. But my arrogance was the reason why I actually like found myself lost-ish or just not really like moving in the direction I wanted. Yet my arrogance is what brought me back here. And when I shunned my arrogance, I had to go through a whole lot of emotions and feelings and just kind of like be frustrated all the time. And then when I brought it back and I accepted it, I just like don't necessarily have to be arrogant about everything. I could just like remember that I should be about some things. And now every once in a while, it's funny because like every once in a while when I'm considering stuff, I'm always trying to consider stuff from a more passive perspective, especially stuff that is not really like concerning me. Because like, why would something on the outside bother me? Absolutely correct. But as well, like if somebody's kind of like infringing of my space, I need to be a bit arrogant. Society and what comes from society requires us to have certain behaviors. It tests us. There are books written about this, man. There are books written about like laws of power, how to guide and manipulate and choose and go up and down, all these things. Our goal is not really to manipulate, but every once in a while we find ourselves being sucked into the pace of someone else. What will get you out of it if not for your own pride and arrogance and self image? There are times where you find yourself that you're kind of like stuck and there's no way to go out, and you need a boost of energy, and then you kind of like channel your inner anger, even though it's not the best way to do it. There's a whole lot of emotions about us that kind of like we hide, but sometimes it's not their fault. The results turned out to be the way they did. Our evolution through these emotions should be more understanding, because when push came to shove, they're the ones that stepped up. Those parts of us that felt that right now, if you look at them, they feel kind of like stained. Those are the parts that were there when the rest of you that's judging right now wasn't. That was heavy. Okay, interesting. I like it. I like this, definitely. All right, just be more accepting of how you came to where you are. I think that's the thing. Accepting how we got to where we are allows us to look at every part of us in a more positive light. That's basically it. Yay, it's a video.